This video here is going to be talking about the Bible. It's going to be about the book of Samuel. And the book of Samuel is in the Old Testament. The cool thing about the Old Testament is it's the Jewish faith and the Christian faith. Judeo-Christians share this teaching. So Samuel, now, giving a little preface to the book of Samuel. Samuel was one of the prophets. Samuel, and the difference between a prophet and a king, or a prophet and the judge. There's also a book of Judges. The judges sat over the peoples and they heard what their case is and they gave their opinions on the matter and disputed. You know what a judge is. Why do I have to explain that to you? But anyhow, a prophet set off far from the people and set themselves unto God. So they would convey the word of God unto the people, but they weren't usually a person that was well received by the people. So they were able to speak to kings who could understand them. And the people that could raise up to their level and understand them, those were the people that became kings. Now, Samuel is one of the few people in the Bible that there's no mistakes recorded made by Samuel. All of his decisions were considered to be sound, okay? Well, Samuel, a prophet who never ruled over the people, yet he raised up two kings. And the first king he raised up was Saul, and the second king he raised up was David. Okay, now Saul became a king. Before he became a king, he was out traveling through the lands, and some musicians came upon him, and they were playing music that put him in the spirit, as it's worded in the Bible. And in the spirit, he began speaking, and the same became the same as Saul among the prophets, because the words he was speaking during the music that was playing, that he felt were perhaps God speaking through him, So he was driven by the music. Now, David was a musician in and of himself, and it was said that David played music so well that he was able to drive bad spirits out of people. So much so that when Saul was troubled in the spirit, he called David to play music to him. But while David was playing music in front of Saul, Saul began to sense a power shift, and he became jealous of David and once threw a spear at him and nearly killed the man while he's playing music for him to drive bad spirits out of him. But as we all know, David did become king. This same David, who was a shepherd boy who killed Goliath, and was chosen by Samuel, and he did become a king. Well, he was from the tribe of Judah, and in full power and grace. It is told in the book of Samuel, chapter 24, that David took upon himself the not so great notion to count all the people of Israel. And he wanted to know how many people of all the different tribes there were. But not only that, he wanted to know how many of them were from his tribe, the tribe of Judah, and how many were from the rest of the tribes. Okay, well, when this census count came back, he found out that there were 800,000 of the people of Israel, not of his tribe, and 500,000 of his tribe. So I don't know if his notions were that he wanted his tribe to be bigger or what, but that was the count that came back. 800,000 to 500,000. 8 verse 5. Okay, well, he was smaller, and not only did he have to find that out, but he found out he should have never taken the count at all. And it was told to him, and Joab, his chief lieutenant, never wanted to take the count to begin with. And then the prophet told to him, said, okay, the Lord has spoke to me, named Gad. The prophet named Gad said, the Lord has spoke to me, and he wants me to tell you that you made a grave and very terrible mistake in having all these people counted. And the Lord's given you three choices. You could have 7 years of famine, or you could have 3 months of fleeing from your enemies, or you can have 3 days of pestilence put upon you by the Lord. The pestilence being sickness. Okay, well, seemed to be an easy choice. 7 years, 3 months, or 3 days. Well, David chose the little tiny amount, the 3 days. When that 3 days, 70,000 people of the land of Israel died. 70,000 people. So what is the point of all this message? Is that, and you have to think of it in terms. So let's put this in adult logical terms. Let's say a man wants to know his penis size. He just has to know it, so he has to measure it. Oh, maybe he thought it was great and big, and he finds out it's only 5, and the next guy's got 8. Okay. Well, maybe he should have just known that whatever the Lord gave him was good enough, and he should not bother to measure it. Okay? And if that's not solid enough, the 8 to 5, if that's not solid enough proof, then the second part, in choosing of the pestilence, and 7 years, 3 months, or 3 days, and in those 3 days, 70,000 people died. Powerful things come in very small packages sometimes. Okay, so whatever the Lord gives you, what are you going to trust in? You going to trust in what? The Lord, or are you going to trust in numbers? Okay, so that's basically what it comes down to. Whatever you've been given, you should just assume that's enough and not count and compare it to the next person. And that could be 70 likes to 700 likes, 500,000 followers to 800,000 followers. You catch my drift. Don't bother with worrying about the numbers. Know that whatever it is enough, and that's good enough. And God bless and have a good night.